How do you consistently hit an apex? In this video, we're going to talk about the specific techniques that make hitting them easier, as well as touch on why it's important to hit them in the first place. If this is something you've struggled with, then this is a video you're going to want to watch. Most riders will be able to point out roughly where they want to be in the middle of any given corner, especially those that have taken the time to learn correct trackcraft. However, while they may be able to easily point out an apex and where they want to be, how many of those same riders do you think can actually hit them time and time again? Many would tell you that sometimes they can, other times they can't. So what creates this inconsistency, and what can we do to get ourselves closer to where we want to be? Before we get to that, let's quickly recap what an apex is and why it's so important. On a basic level and in track riding terms, the apex is the point where you'll be closest to the inside of the track, also known as the clipping point. It's the point where you meet the inside of the track in an effort to create a straighter line for the corner, allowing for higher speed through it. But the apex should mean more to you than a simple geographical location in a corner. The apex is the point where you can begin to utilize the part of the corner that is often the most important, the exit. While it isn't true for every cornering situation, more often than not it is from the apex where you can begin to reduce lean angle of the bike and in turn begin increasing throttle application. So when is an apex hit? For a lot of riders, they'll be satisfied that they've hit an apex just by being somewhere close to the inside of the corner. In reality, having your head somewhere near the inside curb is a lot different than having your two contact patches near the inside curb. Now you may think that it's not that big a deal, and that if you aren't able to hit the apex perfectly and only miss it by a few feet, then it's not too bad. But by missing the apex in this way, you're creating two disadvantages for yourself in each corner. First, you're going to be left waiting longer for the bike to turn and point up the track, meaning the exit drive will be delayed. Second, you end up travelling a greater distance around each corner, and more distance covered at the same speed means more time spent through that corner. The differences we're talking about here may only be slight depending on how close you're getting already, but all of that time lost by later throttle application and extra distance travelled across the lap soon adds up. Over a fair sized track, we could be talking about multiple seconds being lost here. So how do you hit it? Some riders will know that they need to be closer to the apex, but they simply won't know why they're not hitting them. Unsurprisingly, for the majority of riders, it comes down to one of the most important skills in track riding, something I've spoke about many times before, your vision. If you've studied anything on track riding vision before, you should know that we want to be aware of our apex well before we reach it. Now you may be doing this already, but be honest with yourself. Are you looking out for an exact spot on the track as you enter the corner and approach the inside of the corner? You may not see it from way back in the braking zone, but are you looking for a solid point as you begin steering and making your way toward the apex? Many riders will be correctly utilizing the techniques of looking into the corner before committing to it, but they'll also be looking vaguely into the turn without looking at anything specific. The result is that their line moves through that space close to the apex, but it doesn't hit it as good as it should. Instead, you want to be looking at the exact spot where you want to go. Now in the braking zone, as you reach the point where you want to steer, you may not see that definitive point, but if you set yourself up right, you can eventually become pinpoint accurate with hitting apexes. For example, let's say you've looked into the corner just before you commit to it. At this point, you may only be able to see the early part of the curb on the inside. With your eyes still fixed on that curb as you hit your steering marker and begin steering, you will begin to see more and more of it as you move closer to it. In time, you'll be able to see exactly where you want to go, and you need to stay focused on that exact spot until you're sure you're going to hit it. After which, you'll look up and out to the exit. Once you know exactly where you want to hit the inside curb, get creative and find some visual clues to not only help you find the apex, but also to let you know when it's going to appear in your view. The more confident you are with your trajectory through the middle and out to the exit of the corner, the more decisive you can be with your steering efforts and line setting, and the less mistakes you'll make. Vision truly is the key to putting yourself exactly where you know you should be, and it's the basis of a consistent rider. And as one last side note on all of this assumes that all the other areas of your riding that affect your line are working well. For instance, if you steer too slowly or at the wrong point, this can be a factor in missing apexes. Throttle control can also play a part. If you're too eager to get back to the throttle in the middle of the corner before the line is set for corner exit, this can often cause missed apexes too. If you feel your vision is up to scratch but you're still missing apexes, then next I would look at these areas in particular. Do you have any stories of chasing apexes, or maybe some tips for others you'd like to share? Leave them in the comments down below. And as always, if you like the video, then please show your support by liking and sharing it, and subscribe to the channel for more performance riding advice and guides moving forward. As always, I'll see you in the next one.